Hi, welcome to this session on the PRINCE2 project management team. Every project has stakeholders. Stakeholders are those who are affected by the project. Some of them are affected, some of them can affect us. Projects are done by people for the people. So PRINCE2 provides us with the roles that needs to be assigned to people who get involved in doing the project work. Unless we involve everybody who is affected, we won't have a successful outcome. PRINCE2 defines roles that needs to be assigned to those people who come from different departments, different locations, and sometimes different organizations. These roles comprises of those who provide us with requirements, that is, for whom we do the project, and those who use our products. And then we have somebody who have resources and provides us those resources and the capability to deliver the solution. And then we have sponsors who basically provides funding for doing the project work. And here is project manager, who basically makes sure that all this happens on time and within budget. The PRINCE2 roles are to be assigned to the people who will be involved in doing project decision making, delivering products, and also managing the projects. We need to identify who is affected and which role needs to be assigned to them. People should have the competency and availability for taking up those roles. We need to go figure out who can take up the role of a senior supplier or the senior user or the executive or the project manager. These people get appointed in the beginning of the project and ideally should stay throughout the project. Some of them get released at the end of each stage and new people come and join to the project. Let's look at the PRINCE2 project management team structure. The project management team comprises of roles that will get involved in project decision making and developing the products and managing them. Corporate or program management is not involved in the team. They appoint the project management team that sits between corporate and the team members. Corporate or program management provides mandate that triggers the project. The corporate appoints project board, who will basically be responsible for providing direction to the project. Project board does not do day-to-day management, but provide direction to the project manager in terms of agreeing the targets for project for scope, time, cost, quality, and benefits. The project board is like a steering committee which is formed by combining a couple of roles. These roles represents the primary stakeholders like business, users, and suppliers. The project board has been given an authority by the corporate or program management to make decisions on the project on their behalf. At the end of each stage, the board reviews the project to ensure it is heading in the right direction. The board also provides decisions when there are major revisions to the project. The board comprises of executive, who is the chairperson of the project board. The executive gets appointed in the beginning of the project. So if I'm doing a CRM project, obviously it will run for a couple of months or maybe a year or more, and we will need resources and money. Executive is going to provide that money and ensure that this project is really required for the organization. The executive provides funding, but it's not just about providing money, but to also ensure that there is value for money. The executive owns the business case and ensures that the business case is viable and justified throughout. At the end of each stage, the executive will check the project financing and look at whether the project continues to remain worthwhile. Executive also provides strategic alignment of the project and ensures that the corporate objectives for the project are understood. Who can become executive? Somebody who has authority to commit resources, somebody who can actually provide funding and be accountable for that, and somebody who has a higher senior management position, for example, a CEO or a CFO on a large project like CRM. The executive reports to the corporate or program management. The executive is supported by senior user. The senior user, these are basically the people who are going to use the products delivered by the project. So when I implement a CRM system, the business units or the people working in those units who are going to use the application are the users. Somebody who represents them on the project board is a senior user. Obviously, you must have authority to commit user resources to make sure that the problems of the users are understood by specifying requirements and expectations from the products. The users will also participate in the user acceptance testing and then will bring the necessary outcome and realize benefits. You can have one or more people playing the role of senior user. For example, if the CRM system affects more than one department, maybe if those departments are also affected stakeholders, I can bring their representative, a senior user on my project. They get appointed in the beginning and they are part of the project board. They ensure that the user interests are protected. In fact, those who are going to support and maintain my products in the operational life, they are also users. So somebody from the internal IT team who has the responsibility for supporting the production environment can also be brought in as a senior user. And then we have the senior supplier. The senior supplier basically can come from internal or external to the organization. The senior supplier represents the interest of those who deliver the products of the project. The senior supplier is responsible for providing the necessary resources, skills, and equipments, materials as required by the project. So if I have to implement a CRM system, I will require hardware. So those who provide hardware are my suppliers. Somebody who represents them and ensures that the contract terms are agreed and honored is someone who can become a senior supplier. Apart from that, I will also need developers, testers to build the application. Those who are going to bring them those resources are senior supplier. For example, an account director for a IT company can become senior supplier. In some cases, when the projects are done for internal customers, by internal suppliers, I can have my internal team heads basically playing the role of senior supplier. They deliver the solution by ensuring that right quality has been provided and the products are fit for purpose. Together, they form the project board. They get appointed in the beginning of the project and they ideally should stay together throughout the project. At the end of each stage, the board will review how the project is progressing and ensure that the project continues to remain justified. The project board is reported by the project manager. The project manager's job is to ensure that the requirements of the project are understood and the resource availability is understood. The project manager ensures that plans are prepared and strategies and controls are in place to make sure that the project is delivered on time and within budget. Project manager's job is to assign work to the teams and ensure that the stakeholders are kept in loop by providing them regular or escalated reports. Project manager delivers one management stage at a time. Project manager can make some decisions as long as they remain within the agreed tolerances. As you remember, PRINCE2 works on manage by exception. It means that the team should be empowered to take some corrective or preventive decisions. For that, they should have some room to make those decisions. For example, if a stage is expected to take 10 weeks, the project manager is provided with either a tolerance on time, like plus minus 1 week. So as long as the stage remains within that plus minus 1 week range, the project manager can take up those decisions to solve problems of the team. However, if the tolerance is forecast to exceed, the project manager should immediately alert the project board using an exception report. The project manager is reported by the team manager. The team manager basically delivers the products using the resources assigned within that team. You can have one or many team managers. For example, on a CRM project, I have the testing team manager, I have the design team manager, I have the development team manager. The team manager's job is to understand the products that needs to be delivered, understand the scope, and also understand the terms within which the delivery is to be done. For example, scope, time, cost, quality. And these terms are agreed within a work package, which is assigned by the project manager to the team manager. The team manager then makes a task list and gets the resources on the job. The team manager provides progress reports to the project manager on a regular basis. Just like the project manager may have tolerances, the team manager can also have the tolerances to take some corrective decisions. Otherwise, each problem of the team will get escalated to the project manager. The team managers can come from within the company or can come from external suppliers. On small projects, when the team size is small, for example, about 3 or 4 people working in the same room and sits along with the project manager, it is possible the project manager can take up this role. That way, you can reduce the budget and overheads. And then we have the project assurance, which actually comprises of 3 roles: the business assurance, the user assurance, and the supplier assurance. They work for the project board. They ensure that the stakeholder interests are protected. The project assurance ensures that regular reviews of the projects are conducted. They review the project independent of the project manager. They monitor the performance of the project, ensures that the strategies and controls are in place, and that the stakeholders are engaged and involved throughout the project. They report to the project board. In fact, on small projects, the project board, if have time, can play the role of project assurance themselves. Few people call project assurance as whistleblowers or watchdogs. These are experts and they look at how the project finances are being managed, how the project solution is evolving, and whether it will address the real problems raised by the users, and ensure that the project standards and quality requirements are being followed. Project manager should never take up the role of project assurance. The senior user can play the role of user assurance or can delegate user assurance to maybe his or her deputy. The business assurance can be played by CFOs or finance controllers, and they work for the executive and ensure project finances are managed and controlled. And the supplier assurance, they basically ensure that the senior supplier is adhering to the compliance as expected by the project teams and requirements. And then we have the project support role. The project support role works along with the project manager. The project support role is actually to support the project manager and assist the project manager in maintaining project documents and controlling changes to the documents, maintaining project files, giving access to the project dashboards, and sometimes they are also experts and help the project manager in setting up plans, identifying risks, and maintaining risks and quality registers. They collect metrics. You can have the PMOs who can take up the role of project support. They look after helping the project manager in running the project. On small projects, maybe the project manager can take up the role of project support. And the final one is the change authority, popularly called as the change control board or the change advisory board. And the role of change authority is to basically look at the changes that have been requested, look at the impact, and as long as they remain within the change budget, can approve or reject them. The change authority represents the project board. It is possible that the project board themselves can take the role of change authority, or maybe the project manager can take it up to a certain extent. A change budget is provided to help them make this decision. For example, on a project on CRM, I have a change budget of, let's say, £2,000. So as long as my project new changes contested can be done within that budget, the change authority can take up that decision and approve or reject changes. And that's the PRINCE2 project management team. Each role is compulsory. You can't drop any of these roles. All these roles are compulsory. They must be assigned. It is possible on small project, one person can end up playing multiple roles as long as it doesn't create a conflict of interest. For example, project manager playing the role of a board or project manager taking up the role of a project assurance. However, some other roles can be combined and assigned to one person, like team manager, project support, change authority can be taken up by the project manager, or the executive and senior user role can be combined on projects that are being done within one department. However, supplier role should be kept separate. PRINCE2 principle for defined roles and responsibilities is supported by appointing all these people on the project team. And that's all for the PRINCE2 project management team structure.